Yeah.
Regulations for the state of Wisconsin.
You're good, Jerry.
Fishing regulations can be super confusing in general. So I hope this video clears up some things on that note. So in this video, I'm going to take you through this online tool that pretty clearly shows the laws for the state down to the level of specific streams that you might want to fish. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. And if you find this video helpful, hit the like button, and if you want, share the video. So starting, as you see on my screen, in a Google search, let's just search Wisconsin, so just WI, trout tool. There's quite a few different ways you can get to this tool. So it's going to be this one. It has like an acronym, trout. It's the Trout Regulations and Opportunities User Tool. That's what the trout acronym stands for. It's pretty clever. So if you'll get to a page like this and you scroll down, launch trout viewer. So this is how you get to it through a Google search. I will also put a link directly to this in the description below so you can get right to that. And just a note, this tool is made and managed by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. So it should be a very reliable source of information. So let's go through the features of this mapping tool. So the default view, here we're showing the whole state. This default view shows trout regulations for waters throughout the state. And I'll get back to this in more detail in a minute, but the three main things that are wrapped up in the regulations are one, and let me just zoom in to show you kind of a little more detail. So one thing is bag limits, and that's if you're planning on keeping fish, how many fish and what size they need to be to keep. And that is designated by these colored lines that overlay over the trout streams. The second thing that is part of the regulations is the dates, or are the dates for open and close seasons. And the third thing being gear restrictions that might apply during certain parts of the season. So you can toggle between the regulations layer and kind of a secondary tool you could use in this. So if we go over here to menu, you can go to map layers. Another thing you can show is designated trout water. So here, if you kind of scroll down, if you check this box, it'll show designated trout waters. And if you uncheck the trout regulations, see how the colors switched on the screen. So now instead of showing basically like length, your bag limits, you're showing the classifications of the trout streams. And so the three classifications are green, which are class 1, light blue, which are class 2, and this darker blue, which are class 3. This will be a little important later on, and I'll mention why this is important. But just so you know, this is how you get to that. So let's bring it back to the default. So back to the trout fishing regulations. So another kind of minor feature of this map are these purple dots and sections of streams. And what these are trout habitat improvement projects that have been done between the years of 2011 and 2018. I'm not going to talk about this really any more than that, but just kind of for your information, that's what that is. So another feature that this map shows are DNR easements. And what easements are private lands that are open to the public, in this case for fishing. It also shows non-DNR easements, for example, county easements and trout unlimited easements. But these are only shown on this map in Dane, Vernon, and Monroe counties. So while it has some public access information, I wouldn't rely on this map for finding that information. I actually have another video where I used a different tool to find public access, which I like much better than this tool. And so I'll put a link in the description at the end of this video, and then also somewhere on the screen right now. I'm not going to talk more about public access in this video, except to clear up a couple definitions. So in Wisconsin, public water is determined by navigability. In other words, a water body is public in Wisconsin if you're able to float a recreational boat, such as a canoe, on said water. And so you can fish in that water, assuming that you can access it by public land, or if you have permission to access it over private land by the landowner. And then once you're in the public water, if it runs through private land and you don't have that permission, you need to keep your feet in the water. This is different than some other states where it's like the high water line, or I think in the past in Wisconsin, it was a high water line. Now you need to keep your feet in the water. And this is except in the case where an obstruction or unsafe wading kind of requires you to get out of the water. Then you're legally able to get out of the water and then re-enter as soon as you're around that dangerous spot or impassable spot. So enough on kind of public access for this video though. So back to the major feature of this mapping tool is the trout regulation information, which shows up as the green, yellow, red, and black lines that overlay the streams. In the key on the left, let's go back to our main menu here. Exit out of layers. So on this sort of key on the left, it has a trout regulations key, which goes through, generally speaking, what the different colors mean. So green means that there's no minimum length limit and you can keep 5. Yellow means that you can keep 3 over 8 inches trout. Red, there are special regulations, so you'd have to go to the specific stream and look at it. And then black are Great Lakes tributaries, and they all have their kind of very specific regulations. So just to go through a couple examples of that on this map, just zoom in here. So this is in northern Wisconsin. So we see 3 of the 4 different colors here. We have green, so let's just click on that. Regulations. So first it shows the season, and this is the season you can keep fish. It's always the first Saturday in May through October 15th. Any gear restrictions that might be associated with that stream. Again, if you're keeping fish, the daily bag and length limit. And then something that isn't indicated by the colors is early season. So here in Wisconsin, there is an early catch and release season on the vast majority of streams that runs from the first Saturday in January to the first Saturday in May when your catch and keep season opens. And so all trout have to be immediately released. And then also a vast majority of the streams, you have to use artificial lures during this early season. So no live bait. And I'll note while I'm talking about that, dough baits and corn are considered live bait in this case, or they fall into that category. So let's go to another. So here we're on a yellow stream, again, shows all that. And then again, early season. And then I'm not going to go into too much detail on the Great Lakes tributaries because again, they're so specific to every stream and location on the stream that it's hard to generalize information on those, but you can use this tool to figure out the information. It talks about all the seasons, which differ from inland, and there's different fish running up those, so it goes into regulations on those. Well, that's all I'll say about that. And then let me just go to an example of a red stream. So red stream, again, these are specific or special regulations. So this one, for example, season round or year round, when the season is open, you can only use artificial lures, so no live bait. And then the bag limits are quite a bit different than the kind of liberal bag limits of no minimum of 8. And here you can only keep 1 trout over 14. And then early season for this specific one is the same as kind of others. So one last example or situation you might run into is if you're fishing a stream, just go back up here. So here's a good example. So if you're fishing a stream, sorry about this, just trying to find a good example. Well, basically any of these are fine examples. So let's just pretend that you're in this stream, which is green, and you walk by this small tributary, which has water flowing in it, and you decide to wade up that just a little ways. So the question here is, what are the regulations for unmarked streams? The reason they're unmarked is because they're not classified trout streams. So if you were to switch back over to this map layer of, so let's get rid of the trout fishing regulations and put on the trout water. See, now this is designated. This is not designated trout water. Switch back quick. So those regulations fall to the county base regulations. And so if you click, it brings up the base county inland trout regulations for this particular, so this is Bayfield County. So it falls under green. So 5 trout in total, any length. Another thing you can do is go to this tools if you're having trouble identifying something, and there's this identify tool, and then you can click and drag and it'll bring up kind of all the regulations. So it brings up the trout stream regulations, which are these, then also brings up again the base county regulations, which are such. So one note on trout seasons: any water that is designated trout water, it is illegal to fish for any species during the closed trout season, with the exception of rough fish, and you can only take rough fish by hand during the closed trout season. So that's something to keep in mind. This is not a situation where you can go to the stream, fish for whatever you think is in there, and if DNR stop you, you can't just give the excuse of, oh, I wasn't fishing for trout. That doesn't work here. So that's another case where switching to the map layers, switching off the regulations and switching to trout water. So anything that is designated trout water in the state of Wisconsin. Zoom in a little bit. There's a lot of trout water. So this is kind of in the driftless. This is like right in the heart of the driftless area. Anything that shows up here from October 15th through the first Saturday in January, you cannot fish at all. But that's it. That's all I wanted to say on that. So just to go through some of the other tools of this online mapping tool. So if you go to this tools box, you have the identify, which I already went through. If you go to pan, that allows you to kind of click and drag around the map. That's kind of your default setting. Legends shows you all the different colors and what they mean, including easements, county boundaries, etc. You're able to measure distances, which could be kind of nice. You can do a line, you can do a freehand line. You can, if you wanted to fish a certain section of stream, you can measure how far it is to get an idea of how much you're going to be walking or wading. You can plot coordinates, and you can also print or save maps to your computer. So right here, if I wanted to save this map, or if I zoomed in on this random stream, just to show like access, like here, I could park here, walk in. I could print this map or save this map. Those are the tools that I like. You also have this menu option over here, which if you click on that, it's another way to get to that legend. So we can pop out the legend again. But let me just get rid of that. So going back to menu, the other thing in here is the map layers. So again, clicking on that allows you to change what is actually being shown on the map. So you can either have your trout fishing regulations or your trout waters, which is kind of the main thing. And it also has like easements and all that stuff. Oh yeah, and then it also has the terrain, which could come in handy. It could be useful for you. Just know it's there. And then there's also the air photos. which you might have seen earlier, but you could either have that on, here, I'll get rid of the base map. So this is aerial photos, or it's actually defaulted so that when you zoom in, you reach a certain zoom point, it'll actually just switch over to the aerial photos from the map, which is kind of nice. I somewhat use this feature in my other video to find access points, and I encourage you to go over there and take a look at that. So that's all I wanted to show you guys with this tool. I could look through it for hours, and I hope you find it as useful as I do. Let me know in the comments what you think of it, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to look into and answer. Like the video if you found it useful, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a happy new year. See you next time. All right, welcome back.
Okay. Can you hear me, folks?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's how you use the basic regulation map. He's going to go into a whole nother portion of that trout website and show you how he uses it to find public access. Right now, I'd just like to know, are you hearing things okay? And is this following all right? Pardon?
Yeah,
I
good,
heard
Jerry.
it and seen it fine.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to bring it open and play it on.
Back to my channel. So today, what I want to do is show you my process of looking for new places to fish. Specifically, I'm talking about trout fishing, generally speaking in the driftless region, but this method can be used across the state of Wisconsin. And so I'm just going to walk you through an example of how I go about searching for public access to trout streams. If anything in this video is confusing to you, you want to learn more about it, go down in the comments and let me know. And either I'll answer it in the comments, or if there's enough comments or a big enough question, maybe I'll just make another video altogether. So what you're going to want to do is open up two tabs in your browser. In the first tab, I just started in Google, for example's sake. You're going to want to search for Wisconsin Public Lands Mapping Tool. Okay. So it's going to be this first thing that pops up, Public Access Lands Mapping Application, Wisconsin DNR. It's on the DNR website. You could probably go to the website and in this search box, search the mapping tool. So coming down here, I'm going to launch the application. And while that's launching, I'm going to go to Google again in the second tab, and I'm just going to go to Google Maps because that's going to be the second thing we use to verify our fishing spots. So I'm signed out of my Google account right now, just so a bunch of pings and fishing spots don't pop up, to show you how I would do this from scratch. Okay, so that's in reserve. Of course, this isn't responding. Here we go. It can be a little slow, especially if you're running programs in the background, just because this map has so much information integrated into it. All right, so in this application, what you're going to want to do is go to layers in the bottom left here and make sure that the proper things are checked. So you want to make sure, and I think they are default checked to be showing on the map, but you want trout waters for sure. That'll map out your designated trout waters. And then you want your easements, open public land. I think that might be all you really need. So those things are checked. I'm just gonna close this so I have a little more to work with. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom in on kind of a random part of the state, just to give you an idea of where a lot of the trout fishing is done in Wisconsin, is in the driftless region. So that's approximately from this portion of the state here that I'm outlining, something around that. Don't harass me for not being exact there. So I'm just going to zoom in. I've never fished whatever I'm about to zoom in on, so this is all from scratch, like I said. All right, so now we got to a level on the map where all of the elements are going to start showing up because, well, the map can load that without crashing. So I'm going to zoom in. These various colored lines are designated trout waters. So you have green, blue, and a dark blue. And actually, these colors are different class trout streams. So there's 3 different classes. There's class A, class B, class C, or 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure what they call it now. But green is theoretically or based on surveys going to be your highest productivity waters or your best trout fishing. Your light blue is going to be kind of your middle, and then your dark blue is going to be probably less productive water. Having said that, I've caught probably more fish out of the light blue than I have out of green. So don't let that fool you. So I'm going to zoom in. And let's see, let's get 2 examples. So first I'm going to start off with an easy example. Well, I should say an example of easier access. What this dark green indicates on this mapping tool is DNR lands, so DNR owned lands. So anywhere in this area you can walk around. A lot of these areas have public hunting too, but that's a totally different story, and I know nothing about hunting. So that's someone else's job to explain. But here we have a stream that runs through this DNR owned land. If you don't know what something indicates on the map, or if you forget, you can use this identify tool. It's really handy. And then you just click and drag over what you want to identify. And then up here on the left, it just pops up with what you essentially laid your identify tool over. So we have, again, like I said, DNR owned property, which is the dark green. You have trout waters, which is the stream. And then I went over this parking area. And then there's like city, town, et cetera, et cetera. I want to fish this Rem Milackthon Creek. Didn't pronounce it right, but that's whatever. So what I'm going to do is, now that I see that this is public land and I can go out there, walk around, I can fish, what I'm going to do is go over to my Google Maps and confirm that it is accessible. So I'm going to zoom out and just try to get an idea, because like I said, I randomly zoomed in on this. I don't really know where this is, so I'm going to look for a nearby town or something, which will give me a way to identify where this actually is. Also, I go a lot off roads.
Don't worry, this straightens out.
Okay, so that's too far north. Okay, here we are. We're down here. We need to be down here. Here we go. Here we go. So you kind of just go back and forth, and then you find the location that you found on the application tool on Google Maps. So Century Farm Road. Century Farm Road. Zoom back in here, and then a bit north on 80 is where. So then, just kind of narrowing in, we have Walsh Lane. So then just south of Walsh Lane, here we go. So somewhere in this region, so you wouldn't be able to find this via just Google Maps unless you just happen to stumble upon it. So it's right in this area. We know there's a parking lot somewhere in there. So I'm gonna switch over to the satellite imagery. Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so this looks like the parking lot. Let me zoom in on it. Okay, so that's a parking lot. Let me go back just to kind of cross-reference. So this parking lot in the Millangton Creek kind of fishery area corresponds to this right here. And then here's your stream. Based on this looks like a pretty small stream, but it is designated trout water and it's green, so must be at least somewhat decent fishing. So earlier when I said this is easy fishing access, kind of what I meant by that is that this is a big public chunk of land. So anywhere in here you can walk around. There's probably public hunting, but again, that's another subject. And then it even has a parking lot off the road that you can park at and use to access. What's also really nice about kind of the second big feature of Google Maps and why I use it is that if I'm ever unsure about the location or the specific like parking situation, I can go to the street view and look at the street kind of from a first person point of view and look at here. This is like a beautiful, wow, this is just like a beautiful area in general, first off. And then perfect little parking lot. You zoom in, there's a sign that says the creek fishery area. Over here, it's telling you about regulations, what sort of activities are allowed in the DNR property, probably hunting, trapping maybe, et cetera, et cetera. There's probably a sign, one of these signs that has fishing regulations, although you probably want to check your book, your fishing flyer book, because that's going to be more up to date than sometimes these signs are, in my experience. So this is a great place. So the third, here, let me just zoom out of here back to a good sort of map. Okay, so the last thing I would do in Google Maps, this looks like a great place to fish. I'm gonna just lay down a waypoint, just click there, and then just go into the coordinates, click on the coordinates, and then up on your left will pop up the coordinates, and I can just click save. If I was signed into my Google account, which you should do, I can just save it as a place. And then when I go, I get in the car, I can go to my phone, my Google Maps application, and I can just click on that waypoint there, and I can get directions. I can just drive straight there. If you're not into using your phone, or you don't have the app or whatever, you don't have a smartphone, you can also look at the directions here. So I can just do directions and then just type in your starting location, and then it'll give you step-by-step directions. So that's an easy access point. I actually might save that for later, or I'll find it again or something, although that's a ways away from my home. So let's find another example that's a little less intuitive. I'm just going to stay along this same stream just for time's sake. And let me find something. So I'm looking for easement property, and that's a little different than just public land, DNR owned land, in terms of accessing. So here's a good example. So this is just, what is this, downstream? Well, it's the same creek. I don't know if it's upstream or downstream. I'm guessing down based on the way the branching is and stuff. So what this is on the map, and if you wanted to identify this, if you didn't know what this hashing is, you just take that identify tool. And again, so here it's showing it's a DNR easement. What an easement is it's private land that's granted public access generally. And in the case of trout streams, it's due to the county or the state or something coming in and doing some restoration work. And then the landowner agrees to set up an easement in return for this restoration work being done. And so then it's private land with public access along the banks of the stream. So same stream, just south of where we just were. Okay, so this is actually what we're looking for, this point right here. Yep, so it comes out in this nice elbow. It's kind of squiggly water. Generally is better trout fishing water, just FYI. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to satellite. I'm going to look at this. And for this example,
since we don't have a designated parking lot, we're looking for parkable, essentially street parking. This is kind of like a highway, but we want to make sure that we can park safely and legally on the side of the road here, and be able to drop into the fishing area without crossing somebody's land, et cetera, et cetera. So this looks, I mean, it's a pretty nice wide road. So I'm guessing there's going to be parkable area. What I'm going to do is, again, so it looks like fishable water. It's kind of wide. Again, there's a lot of bends and stuff, so it's probably some decent trout water. There are a lot of trees, so that might be something you want to consider. Like if you'd rather be fishing in an open, with a big back cast, if you're a fly fisherman, something like up here might be better, although I don't think that's public access. But here, you're going to be having trees in your back cast. So I'm going to take the little guy, street view guy, put him down, so I can see if there is good parking here. So I'm showing right away, and actually I'm going to zoom out again. I apologize for this. It looks like there has been this little driveway. It's not really a driveway, but either this is like a farmer's access point to his field right here, or this is actually, it was just made for fishermen, which would be really nice to park, and you're well off the road. If you're unsure, you can pull and just make sure you're far enough off the road. You don't want to fall in the ditch, but just make sure you're not going to get hit. Of course, you can take the street view guy over here. I do this a lot, where I'll take it right here and I'll check out the stream. This actually looks like a beautiful stream. From here, I can even see the water is actually pretty clear. If you zoom in here, this is a sign. You obviously can't read it, but the sign says something along the lines of public fishing access. It might say something about DNR easement or something, but we can come up here if you didn't want to park on that other side. Probably could park here. Yeah, I mean, unless there's a really steep ditch, like you can just pull over here, put your right tires over in the grass. Just be smart about it. And then you walk up to the side of the stream, and you have access to the stream, and you're fishing, and you're catching fish. So yeah, that's kind of the easement example. Again, I would zoom out. This looks like a pretty viable place to park and fish. And so you can go back to maps. You don't have to. I would place a little beacon down here. Sometimes I place a ton of beacons. So then when I get out there, I don't know, if I place a beacon here, am I supposed to go downstream for public access or up? There are the signs there that tell you, but they're not always there. So in that case, I would put a beacon here, click into here, label it, and that's kind of save your phone, or you get directions for it. And then I would also go up here. You can see that this easement goes around this bend, around this elbow, and kind of up a little bit, or down a little bit rather. So you could like place another beacon right about here. And then that way you zoom out. And if you're looking at this on your phone and you see a beacon here, if you hadn't put another beacon, you might be like, oh, do I go down? Do I go up? So if you put that second beacon in, you know that this is kind of your range of where you can fish. So on Melancton Creek, actually looks really good, but there's thousands of miles of streams. Don't go to this one. I mean, it might be good fishing, but do your own research. I mean, just look at this. Like, I barely scratched the surface of just that creek, not to mention, these thousands of miles of, it's totally mind blowing. Anyways, yeah. So like I said earlier, if you have other questions, let me know in the comments. Like this video if you did indeed like it. Subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you watching, giving feedback, and let me know what you think. And hopefully you get out there And this video helps you find some new opportunities in the Wisconsin trout fishing or fishing scene.
And that'll be linked to our, but everybody.
Fishing,
the other one has, a different
Generally speaking,
Credit card they're using. But
All right, well, I hope you like that. If you haven't seen that map before, he does a very good job of going through it. If you have never used it before, it's it's very accessible, it's very useful.
you don't
And
have to all
again,
put together, like if they go off on
just
their own. they can
search for it. Somebody, hi Denny. Hey, I just saw Denny out there. So I hope you enjoyed that. The other thing we have tonight is we want to try to share with you.
I want you want to pay it.
It's
Go
a place called the scientific angler scientificflyangler.com. And this is a gentleman called Jason Freud up in the Driftless area around Europa. He quite an angler, and his website is the scientificflyangler.com. It's in your newsletter. If you haven't been there, take a look at it.
I'm
It's
looking at
really
it right now.
just loaded one blog after another with things where he's been
Girl,
publishing things that he's done or recipes for flies or anything that comes to his mind. It's pretty good. And the other thing I'm going to try to take you to is the map that I put together of all the styles we did. And I'll try to show you what that looks like. So bear with me. This should be a little bit easier if I get rid of this guy. Yeah. There we go. Back to Chrome. And we're good. Okay. And this one is
Just want to verify that microwaves are and there are refrigerators in there. And coffee makers already, right? We're at the Caribbean beach.
okay.
I don't know who I talked to, but they said they put in a request. Is there any way you can verify that? I called-
Okay, got that up. Let me see if I can make it a little bit smaller here.
I know we have bed
And,
rails in one room, and then I've seen on
share it
the
with you.
microwave, they told me they would just.
Okay, we got it up on my screen. We're gonna have it up for you guys. Just a second. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Anybody? Can you see these? Yes, no?
Yes.
I see him.
Yes,
Okay.
I
Okay,
see it.
all
One
the-
room, not our room, but another room. The other room-
please mute out there, whoever it is.
Yes, John.
Oh, I
Hey,
saw
John,
somewhere. Again. I-
Yes.
Mute.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
mute it. Thank you. I have all these spots are in orange. Okay, so it'll differentiate from other things you've done. There's some notes about each one. Let me see if I can drag this across so you can see it. This one is, let's see if we can zoom in here. Okay. This is Citron Creek. Why can't I find what I want? Oh, it'll take you, there we go. Once you hit that other, you're going to be able to go right to it and find it on your map. And if you hook this into your phone, you can go use it to take you right to it with directions all the way to it. Each one of these is linkable to your phone. This style's on the North Fork of the Bad Axe, and you may encounter no trespassing signs till you get on state land. So there's two different places there, and the other one is easier to get to than the other. So let's see if I can't zoom this in a little bit more for you. This is Rundle Coulee. We did that a while back. It's really small. It's right outside Coon Valley. Oh, why did that do that?
That's the snowmobile jump, Jerry.
That's right. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
You
We need to
remember?
fix that style.
Yep. And I'm going to try to get back to where we were. Not there. We don't want to see him at all. Let's see if I can get back to this. Oh, that's always good.
I wonder if he's catching anything.
I don't know. I hope he is. I'm not catching this. Why isn't it going? Let's see.
Looks like he's ice fishing there, Peter.
Yeah, cool stuff.
That's why. We need an L in there. Let's go. No. Okay, went the first time. Well, let's see what we've done.
Still not, no, it's nothing biting.
Love it when this stuff works so well. Try HTTPS, the whole thing. Well, I'm afraid it's not going to do that
No,
tonight.
where you have the L, you need a slash.
What's that?
Where you had the L right after com, you need a slash. You didn't have a slash in
I
there.
missed it?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I can see it on your email. It goes right to it on your email.
It sure does.
Yeah. So you could launch it from your own email.
That's what I do.
But if it
Yeah.
gets to it,
Yeah, it's on there. Yeah. Yeah, here, that's, yeah. Well, yeah. See
That
it?
should be it, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scotty.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that's,
Scotty.
yeah, that's actually mine.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
Scott. Oh, leave it back there, Scotty. Go for it.
Okay, yeah, because I,
Put it
okay,
back
hold,
in shareholders. Yeah,
hold on,
please.
yeah, because I have it up, so hold on. I'll-
Okay.
Yeah, I'm running 3 different screens, so just give me a minute.
Wow, that's good. We're having a lot of fun here tonight.
Yeah. Hold on there. Let's see.
If for some reason it does not want to come up for me.
Okay. All right. Okay, hang on there. Okay, share. Okay, can you see it now?
There we go. Can you make it big? There you go.
Yeah. That's, yeah. So if I click on it, yeah.
Yeah.
If I click on
one.
anything, yeah. If I zoom in,
Zoom
Yeah.
in, Scotty, please.
yeah. So yeah, so there's your notes.
Yeah, small but fishable, Rundle Creek.
Yeah,
You know, those kind of little notes are everywhere. But if you're in the area, or this is the area you want to go to, zoom into this area here. That's good. That's
Yeah.
Coon Creek.
Moon Creek, yeah.
Yeah, can you click on that one, Scotty?
Sure.
Yeah, click on that. That's the access to the between properties. We put in these in 2021. As you go up, this is Coon Creek is also Bohemian Valley. You probably know
True.
better than that. And
Yeah.
so these are 1, 2, 3, 4 styles all along Bohemian Valley that we've put in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One's up on the hill, one's down between properties here. And all these little notes, click on another one, Scotty. Can you get the top one? There you
Sure.
go.
Yeah, inner property access on
Yeah.
Bohemian, two-way
Yeah,
latch.
and there's a two-way latch on that, so
Yeah,
you have to learn how to work those, but they're not, difficult.
Yeah.
So all these things are noted. We, if you go over to Ontario, can you back out and find Ontario to the east? Go east, the other east. The other east.
Your other
way
right.
east.
No, he's going right.
yeah, I'm going east.
Mhm.
I'm
You're
going
going,
east.
Scott. You're
Go
good.
east, go east, young man.
I am. Badger Crossing, okay, Bob, okay.
Keep
Getting there.
going east. Getting there we go. Yep,
Oh,
okay.
oh, yeah, okay. There's Ontario.
Yeah, there's Trails End. And then there also is a really nice motel in Ontario called Driftless Inn.
That's
Driftwood
true.
Inn. I put a note about it, but if we go northeast a little
Oh.
bit.
Yeah, there's a Driftwood Inn. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. And
You wanna go
all
northeast?
out. Yeah, to north, yeah, there we go.
Sure, okay.
Come on Z. All those styles that we put in
Yeah.
on Z.
On Billings.
early
Yes.
ones,
Yeah.
That's Billings.
Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you
No,
come down.
no, I like this
downstream
one.
On Billings, yeah, a little bit
No-
downstream.
No
on
style
Billings.
here, just a good idea. I like,
Oh,
Yeah,
Eric.
that's called Trout Lane there.
okay.
Come down a little bit towards the park more. Nope, the other way, Scotty.
Oh, okay, yeah, down here. Oh, Echo Farm, whoops, oh no, it's not
No,
a
keep
style.
coming down. Keep coming
Keep
down.
going south.
Oh, I
There we
see him.
go.
Oh,
Yeah,
right here. Yeah,
okay, that's where the Ferries family lives. And
Okay. oh,
I
yeah,
gave you their names, the Paulette and the Earl Ferries. These are
Right.
two really wonderful people, and they're really accommodating, but they certainly would like you to go to the house and tell them you're going to fish there, because you're almost going to be fishing in their backyard. in
Good
one
place to
Yeah.
buy some steaks too.
Yes, and they have good
Ah.
steaks and things. So all these little
Nice.
notes are in there with the styles. You just pick that up and put it in your, somewhere in your phone. So when you go to your phone, click on it, it opens up, you know where you're going. Click on the orange marker and ask for directions, and your phone will guide you right there. You can't get lost, which is kind of nice. And most of the places we put styles in, everything has been very, very good fishing. We found a lot of nice places by putting those styles in that we wouldn't have normally known about. So it's going to be a handy tool for the chapter. Enjoy it. And I'll keep
Good.
it up as we put new styles in. I'll keep putting more points in everywhere you go. So
Okay.
any questions on about that, how to run it, except why my computer won't do it? Tonight?
No, it's nice. No, well, you get so many windows open, it gets confusing.
Well, it would not let me go into it, but I didn't have any trouble ever before, so I'm assuming you won't have that problem. And then take a look at the Scientific Angler when you have a chance another time. It's just reading that you need to spend some time with. If you're not familiar with the Driftless, or even if you are, he has a lot of good information for you that you're going to learn some things from Jason. Really nicely done too. He's a professor, like I said, at the
Was that
university. Pardon that?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, what you just demonstrated, was that an app that I can put on my phone? Or is that data that we gather when we're at home before we go somewhere and then
Yes.
move those points somehow to your phone, so when you get there?
What it is, John, is it's a URL, it's a spot that has this map on it, of all the styles. And if you put this on your phone and type it in the tinyurl.com LWGB styles, just put that somewhere in your phone and tuck it in, hide it, a note or something, then all you have to do is click on it. It will open up. You can spot the place you want to go before you leave. Click on that and ask for directions in the phone. It's a Google map. Google will take you right there and hook it up with your car map, and it'll give you the directions all the way. You should be good to go.
And the term style, is that a marker that you're using, or is that a ladder over a fence, or?
A
Yes.
style is an access way to get through the fence.
Ladder or gate.
It's a gate we've developed that are very easy to
Whoa.
use.
Here, Ray, here, tell them just what happened.
The 15th seed just beat the number 2 seed. St. Peter is the 15th seed, and they beat, I think it's
Kentucky.
Kentucky in overtime.
Well, that was St. Peter.
Oh, you
Good,
guys
good.
missed a great game.
Did you have money on that, Scott?
I
What?
was dying the other
Did
night
you have
when
money
one-
on that, Scott?
No,
Big winner.
she just gets excited.
Well, I hope somebody had some money on it.
Hey,
All right.
brackets are busted.
John, all you have to do is type that information in your phone or anywhere on your computer, or click on it from the newsletter, and it'll open up and you can start using that. And it's especially good on your phone. And that's what it was made for. The styles mean that you can get through that fence very easily, and usually there's an easement there too. So you'll be on property that you can fish along. That's how it goes.
Thank you very much. That was very
You're welcome.
informative, and that's some very valuable information to me. I mean, it's new to me, so thank you.
Yeah, it is good information for all of us to know. So anybody have anything else before we close out tonight?
Yeah, I got a question, Jerry.
Yes.
That's why I got my hand raised there. Oh.
Oh, hi, Joe. Yes,
So when
sorry.
I'm on this, when you're talking about the ferries or farm there, if I had this on the actual website, is there geographical coordinates in there? Because I was there last fall and I went up and down that road and the only thing I found was, I fished at Oreo, which is good fishing, by the way, and I found the style there. But I never found their farm. I don't know what I was doing wrong, so. I mean, I was
You-
looking,
What spot were you looking for, Joe? The Ferry's farm?
the Ferry's farm, yeah.
It's a white house. The barn sits back and they have a sign out front, right on the road. It
It's
says,
not on
um,
Z,
Billing-
Joe.
Billing
It's on a
Creek
different,
Farm. Billings Creek Farm, Black
Yeah.
Angus. And,
Well, on the app though, was there the actual coordinates I could put in my phone on this, when I pull this site up from the
yeah,
email you
you'll
sent
have,
out?
yeah, you can put it on your phone or you can just use that map and it'll, from you, if you put the phone, if you put that site on your phone, you can use it from there to get directions to it.
Okay,
Yeah, you don't have to even worry about coordinates. The coordinates are built into the map and it'll take you there. Just click on there and when you have it on your phone and get directions. Try it out
Alright.
and you'll see. And if you don't,
Well,
give me a call. 'Cause
I don't know what I did wrong, but I found the style at Oreo and there was good fish in there, so.
Yeah,
yeah, but
yes, there
this
is.
one,
It's
Ferry's
just
farm is
downstream
the-
from there.
is that on F? What road is that on? I can't remember.
What is it? I forget.
It's
the
away
name. I
south
just
of
know how to get
Oreo.
FZ.
No, it's not on Z, I don't think.
no, it's not.
I just
Z.
go there unconsciously. I can't
I think it's
remember.
F.
It's F. Yeah, it's F.
Farm,
It is
it's
F.
F.
F, okay. Yeah, but Oreo, if it's just downstream
Just
from
southwest
Oreo,
of
probably.
Wildcat.
It's between there and probably 3/4 of a mile downstream from that.
Jerry? Oh, Jerry.
Three-quarters- I gotta
It's got
plug
its
in
hand
my
up.
headphones so I can hear. Hang on. Okay. Hang on. All right, there we go. Now I can hear better. Now, what was the question?
Sure, it's just a comment, is I went to the newsletter on my phone, and then that tiny URL link, it just brings it right up. It just.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right there.
So, yeah,
And-
then you
and
can
once
just save it.
Once you
yeah.
hit a coordinate, you're able to get directions.
Right, correct.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I
Yeah.
didn't invent this, but
Yeah.
Brent,
Back there.
it was, yeah,
Yeah, in fact, it says, yeah, there it is, and you just down on the bottom, directions,
Yeah.
and you just hit it and go. Yeah,
yeah, hit it and go. And it's that easy.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be any problem. It'll take you
Nice.
to any one of the styles. But I didn't put the good fishing spots in, you know. No, it should take you everywhere you want to go that we have a style. It shouldn't be that hard. So. Hey, Denny, how you doing? I haven't got to see you for a while.
Yeah,
I finally get to see you.
I took Tuesday off. I had to watch the Wyoming game on
Oh,
TV. So, but everything's good out here.
okay, good for you. Good to hear it. The knee's coming along well, I hope.
Yeah, I got clearance from the doctor to do whatever I can do. So I got free run. So
Glad to hear it. All right, well, we are just about to sign out unless someone else has a question about anything we did tonight.
Hey,
Um,
Jerry, I do
yes.
have a question for you guys that have fished that area quite a bit. I've noticed in the time that I've been fishing up there, the stream levels have just kept getting lower and lower and lower. And when I was up there just over the weekend, they were considerably low. And I was wondering, is this something that you guys have seen in previous years? Is it something that brings a little bit of concern? And if the stream levels do stay like this, what's the fishing going to be like come July and August? That just somewhat of a concern to me, just seeing how low some of those streams were.
What's the,
Um,
what stream were you fishing?
Well,
May I
so
ask?
yeah, absolutely. I was in Fenimore on the Fenimore Fork area. Also, I fished over in the Green River, which was really low as well.
At
From
this
when
time of the year, this time of the year, they should be running high, and I agree with you. But we've had a sort of a dry winter, and you're not seeing a whole lot of water coming down. But the springs have consistently maintained a nice, cool water throughout the summertime. I wouldn't worry about it. There's a lot of water stored in underground, and it's going to keep coming out. When we have wet weather, they sort of build up. In the last few years, we've had a lot of rain, and the word is that we have had higher stream flows in the last 5 to 6 years than we've had for a long time. So I know it may look right now that it's low, but I think you'll find that it's not dreadfully low, and it's not a situation to worry about yet.
Okay, so this is
the-
something that probably just, since I've only been fishing it a couple years, I just came upon it where the stream levels were higher than what they normally have been. Is that accurate, what I'm saying?
That's pretty much, yeah, pretty
Okay.
much true. You know, we've had high water levels for the last few years, and then this winter and in last fall, and we didn't get that water. But there's still plenty that's going to keep running out of springs and keep it flowing. So I wouldn't get too concerned. And you'll see, you know, we're coming up with rain now in the next week or two. I think you'll see it come back.
Yeah, I've been
What you
noticing.
expect for spring. I
doesn't-
noticed,
It doesn't
ahead,
take
Mark.
much of a rain to fill those up again, Luke.
Okay,
The
that
water
was-
table is pretty good and consistent right now, so.
Okay.
Should be
Can
good.
I, yeah, can I put my 2 cents in here? Like, since I don't fish in the area that much anymore, I'm out of the region. But think of it this way, where the divide is at going along 18 or up in the Viroqua areas, those are
Uh-huh.
actually at the top. If you thought of it, those are actually like the tops of the mountains. Those are at the beginning of the watersheds. And when they get the rain, they'll fill up fast, but they'll flush out in the matter of a day or two, really. So, you know, sometimes if you fish the day right after, like the Green River, they'll be running high and roily, or the Blue River will be really running, but you give them a couple of days and they'll flush right out and you've got good water.
Mhm.
yeah. But overall, we're still looking at a better water flow than we've had in the past. And it's mostly been due to these terrible flooding problems that we've had.
Oh,
All that 100-year rains have caused a lot of storage in the ground, and it's slowly coming back out. So yes, we're down right now. I noticed that we were low Monday when I fished too, on the stream that I normally see higher. But just wait, it'll be back. It's not a concern yet. But I haven't heard from people like Jeff Hastings that we're in a drought yet, but we did have a low winter, and after all that snow melted, it wasn't the normal high amount of snow, and I expect that that didn't feed in well. So we could look at lower stream flows this summer, but not drying up streams. I don't think you're going to see that at all. So it'll carry on no matter what, though. Those springs are going to keep everything cool. And there's so many of them that it does it.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I assumed, but I thought I would definitely ask those that have been doing it for quite some years. And I do. I really appreciate the information, and I enjoyed the meeting tonight. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm glad you did. Hope you get out Sunday with us. That'd be nice. So
you guys are going out Sunday?
we're going
White
out
Pines,
to
White Pines,
Denny.
Dennis.
Hey, White Pines, huh? Okay.
You know,
The big
for the
fat one.
rainbows, for the big rainbows
those-
and
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 the engineered golden trout.
yep, for the golden rainbows. Yep.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Some of those rainbows can be as big as steelhead though.
No, I know, they're fat. They're almost obese.
They put some big and plenty of 20 inchers in there before. We'll see what they did this year.
Yeah, we never
Well,
know
good
what
luck.
they're gonna do, but we hope that for the big guys. So.
Yeah. Bring
I'll
your
see you
6
guys
weights.
out there. Come on in, Denny. The doctor said you could walk. Go ahead. Come on in.
Yeah. Actually, anybody know, anybody fish? I'm going down to Arizona at the end of the month and probably gonna try fishing the San Juan down in northwestern New Mexico. I don't know if anybody's fished down there. It's supposed to be it's a still water.
When are
So
you going
it's
there,
supposed to
Dennis?
be-
You going there within the week or two?
Right at the end of March and the beginning of April, first few weeks of April.
It should be good. It should be good
Yeah, I
before the
think so.
runoff. It's usually good in
Yeah.
late winter,
Yeah,
very early spring.
That's a
before the
tailwater.
runoff. Yeah,
the runoff of there is gonna be minimal because it's a tailwater. They really
Yeah.
don't, it doesn't really affect it that much. You know,
Yeah.
up by me, we still got hard water in places and, we have some open water, but the water temperature is about 36 degrees, 37 degrees. So
Yeah,
not
there's-
worth getting out.
there's some really big rainbows in there.
Yeah, that's what
Peter,
I
do you ever,
think. That's
did
all.
you ever fish it? Peter? Peter, did you ever fish the San Juan?
No, me? No, I've never been down there. I mean,
Okay.
I drove by it once, but I never
I'll give
had time to
Never
fish.
fished it. I knew you'd
I'll
fished a
give you
lot.
guys a report. You know?
All
So,
right.
sounds good.
Well, good luck when you get there. I hope you guys have fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here and I hope to see as many of you on the sweepstakes and out at Sunday to White Pines. So have a good evening.
Have they
Enjoy the
stocked White
rest.
Pines yet?
What's that?
Good luck.
Have they stocked
Oh,
White
thank you.
Pines?
Yes. Sunday, the 20th, Peter.
Have they stocked it yet?
We never know.
Okay.
You know, and my worry is, are they going to stock Friday in the rain?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get the fish
can't
wet,
tell.
you know?
yeah, but usually they do it on Thursday. Where's Mark? He's gone. He usually checks in with the ranger and knows what's going on, but I think in the past, it's always been Thursday, so they would have stocked it today. They give them a couple days to acclimate before all hell breaks loose.
Well, and last fall when I was out there, we were out there, like a Tuesday in that week there. And they had only stocked the area above Ford 2. They hadn't stocked below Ford 2.
42.
Ford 2, you know, the
Oh,
second place,
Ford 2.
Ford
Oh,
2,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
they-
it did fine above Ford 2. It got nothing below Ford 2. So,
Yeah, you have to look around for them.
yeah.
When you're out there, you never know. You know,
Where
and
they
high
call
water could get any more difficult to find out. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
see you out there. Okay, well,
Have
good
fun.
night all.